Hello everybody, I'm some Loudmouth on the internet with an opinion, and today's the beginning of a new segment I'll be starting on this show called It's Just for My Children. In this show, we will be highlighting the worst of children's entertainment that are sold to your kids. Sadly, many adults roll their eyes at the very idea of reviewing children's movies. Some say, well, kids are stupid and so are their movies. Many parents see children's movies as little more than electronic babysitters, designed in the hopes that their kids will just shut up for a few minutes so they can get a few adult things done. Having babysat kids before, I totally sympathize with this desire, but I still believe that supporting bad children's movies not only is a huge waste of your hard-earned money, but also even worse, shows contempt for your children's intelligence. There are so many good children's movies out there. It's just so unnecessary to support such unwatchable crap, like the movie I'll be reviewing today. For someone wanting to review offensively bad mainstream children's movies, there are few examples of a more deserving pile of snot than the Disney direct-to-video sequel. Or midquel in this case, or cheapquel as they're usually called. Produced between the mid-90s through the mid-2000s until these movies were put to an end by John Lasseter, these movies were almost universally contemptible. The very best of them were okay, and most of them were bad, with some being really bad. Not only did their direct-to-video budgets produce generally inferior animation than their far superior predecessors, but their stories were incredibly lazy. All played it incredibly safe, rarely ever taking the characters into new or interesting directions, because they seem afraid that anything remotely interesting will confuse the mind of those tots. So it seems they are bad by design. It's sometimes said that how much you despise one of these movies is inversely proportional to how much you love the original, and that's certainly the case with this movie I'll be reviewing today, which is a midquel to one of my favorite movies growing up. That would be The Fox and the Hound. Produced in 1981, this is one of the more somber and thoughtful pictures Disney ever made. It feels more true to life and deals with complex subjects most children's programs tend to avoid. It's the story of Todd and Copper, an orphaned fox and a trained hunting dog who, despite their masters disliking each other, form a deep friendship as children. But the opposing role society gave them slowly begins to tear them apart, until we see the once friends turn enemies. It doesn't have the catchy songs of The Little Mermaid, nor does it have the big epic scale of The Lion King, but manages to be intelligent and thought-provoking. The Fox and the Hound, I think, is a movie that really offers me more watching it as an adult than it did watching it as a child. Watching this movie really makes me think of all the struggles growing up and all the friends that I've grown apart from or lost over the years. And it even ends on a somber note, which is unusual for a Disney movie.
You're my very best friend. And you're mine too, Todd. We will always be friends forever, won't we? Yeah, forever.
There's no real convenient happy ending, just a bittersweet memory of simpler times. Things are simpler when you're young, and this movie really helps capture the contrast between the simple outlook of a child and the often more cruel nature of the adult world. Unfortunately, because this movie was fondly remembered by some, in 2006 it was bastardized with one of the worst direct-to-video sequels of the lot. The Fox and the Hound 2 is lazy as can be, annoying as hell, adds nothing whatsoever to the original movie, and just in general has no reason to exist. So why does The Fox and the Hound 2 and lazy children's movies like it not belong in your kid's movie collection? Well, let's dig into this movie and really find out what makes it so atrocious. We open this piece of crap with Todd and Copper making a fart joke.
It's ugly. It's a monster. I can smell its evil breath from here.
No, that's me. I had socks for lunch.
That was less than a minute in, people. We can presume this is set sometime in the middle of the first movie with Todd and Copper still puppies, but having already met each other. So where exactly in the middle of the first movie does this movie fit? Truth is, nowhere. This movie doesn't fit in the original movie at all. There's absolutely no clear time gap in the original movie for this movie to fit. The only real time gap we got in the original movie was when Todd and Copper were clearly separated. Give Bambi 2 some credit, at least the original movie gave a clear time gap where a sequel could fit. Plus it had the great Patrick Stewart.
I think it's best to leave the past in the past. The prince does not look back, only ahead.
The Fox and the Hound does not have any such time gap, so why make a midquel at all? Why not make a real sequel? Well, probably because it's easier to sell toys of Todd and Copper with them as puppies. There really is no other reason. Copper heads back home to his master Amos Slate, and we are reintroduced to Chief, who is now voiced by Ron Pinky Polson.
You're the best hunting dog in the whole county.
They don't give those fourth-place prizes to just anybody.
Well, I think so, Brain, but we're already naked.
One of many talented actors who's given nothing good to do in this movie.
When this rabbit takes off, you follow his scent. Then let loose with a big old hound dog howl.
No, not me.
Because Copper's kind of an idiot, we get a retrend of a similar scene from the first movie with Todd getting chased. But this time with much lazier cartoon slapstick. Nothing whatsoever against cartoon slapstick. I adore old Tom and Jerry and Tex Avery shorts, but there is a difference between them and the slapstick in this movie. They were actually funny. They understood that comedy is rooted in pain, and their slapstick was perfectly timed to get a reaction from the audience. In this movie, it just feels random and unfocused, with no comedic payoff to any situation. In the first movie, when Chief chased Todd, it felt like Todd was genuinely in danger, and it showed the consequences of the mayhem Todd was causing with his curiosity. This set up the movie's themes about the innocence of childhood colliding with the harsh realities of the adult world.
If I ever catch that fox on my property again, I'll blast him. And next time, I won't miss.
In this movie, all the mayhem feels like it's completely forgotten as soon as it's over, making the whole thing feel pointless.
Yeah, fox was after my chickens, Tweed.
First movie! But it does help lengthen this feature to over an hour, which helps add to the illusion that this is a real movie that had a reason to exist. So later that day, an angry Amos Slate ties Copper up to his barrel in the backyard, but Todd comes to easily spring him out of it.
He got you over a barrel, huh?
Ha 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 ha!
I wonder if there's a county fair around here.
Yeah, apparently Copper's collar is made out of rubber bands or something, because Todd is able to easily snip through it just by chewing on it a little bit.
Nothing a fox can't fix.
Todd and Copper decide to go to the fair, and apparently are invisible because nobody seems to notice them.
What do you want to do first? Everything. Mom, fireworks, fireworks! Balloons!
Okay, why the hell is that kid so excited over a picture of fireworks, but he ignores two baby animals right in front of him? You'd think with Disney relying so much on children to feed its profit margins, it would know a little bit more about how children are like. Maybe if this movie was just a picture of fireworks, maybe kids would have been more excited by it. It's here where we meet all the new characters of this movie, and it's here where the movie's main story starts. We meet Cash, played by the late Patrick Swayze, and Dixie, played by Areva McIntyre.
Darn this one-horse, two-bit, three-timing fair.
I got 2 bones on Dixie. I'll cover that.
It just so happens I am a professional, and my standard...
Damn, these characters have only been on screen a couple minutes, and already I just want them to go away. Remember Big Mama, Binky, Boomer? Yeah, they're not in this movie, nor are they even mentioned. Dixie continues to whine and act like a bitch. Get it? And eventually she just walks off set.
Oh, now, Dixie.
I'll be in my trailer.
Darling, we got a show to do. You can't just walk away. Sometimes I just like that woman.
Bitches be crazy, huh, Cash?
Oh, I can tell right now this is gonna be the worst show of all time.
Okay, that had to have been one of the producers talking about this movie. The Singing Strays go up on stage without Dixie, but it's okay because Copper, for some reason, starts singing Dixie's lines, and they love him, though God knows why. Take a listen to what they're impressed with.
Purebred, down home, true sweet.
Harmony.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Harmony.
Since the crowd is deaf, Copper wailing out of key leads him to being cheered as some kind of country music star. Harmony! There, where's my country album?
Kid, I tell you what, you can sing. You got pipes of gold.
You sure do.
What just happened?
I'll tell you what happened. You're good at something, and I mean good.
First of all, what the hell is everybody hearing? Second of all, to the humans in the crowd, okay, shouldn't they just hear a bunch of dogs howling? We've established that in the Fox and the Hound universe, human characters cannot hear the animals speak. This leads into, yet again, a scene of Cash and Dixie having an annoying couple spat, where they argue about pretty much nothing in particular.
Just what exactly are you saying?
Well, what do you think I'm saying?
You better not be saying what I think you're saying.
Is it just me, or is Dixie just like Georgette from Oliver and Company, except much more annoying? Cash finally gets tired of Dixie's bullshit, so he asks Copper to join his band permanently as a replacement for her.
Really? Huh?
Yes, sir, a genuine singing stray. Can you sing, kid?
Todd, on the other hand, is not allowed to join the band because he sings even worse than Copper does. Slightly.
Here's the good news. You're gonna be part of the entourage.
He's a baby fox. He doesn't need to sing to entertain the crowd. I mean, just look at baby foxes. Since this group apparently only allows strays, Copper lets Todd tell a little lie for him to get in the band.
Of course he's a stray. You don't see a collar on him, do you?
Gee, I hope this isn't an excuse to have the lie revealed and then we can waste our time moping around, feeling bad for all the lies told. Seriously, not only was this kind of storyline way overdone in movies in general, and children's movies especially, but this lie doesn't even make any sense. If all these dogs are owned by the circus and that circus guy earlier, they're not strays either. Also, 2 of the singing strays have collars. Did the animators not read the script before they started animating?
Good. Only strays allowed in this dog's band.
Even though this movie is barely over an hour long, it barely even has enough story to cover even half that time, so various subplots are added to pad out the length, like a scene where Dixie gives Copper peanut butter to prevent him from singing. Because in shitty children's movies, peanut butter is like super glue. See? It's not even that dangerous. See? So we learned that milk works well with peanut butter. What a great way to spend 5 minutes of our lives. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that there are these odd scenes that it cuts to with this little girl and this older talent scout. I guess that's who the band's waiting for. These scenes really add nothing to the movie whatsoever, and they're not funny, but they're just kind of there. But the absolute worst way this movie tries to pad at its runtime is with these incredibly bland and boring musical numbers.
Oh, dude! Yeah, watch out! Oh, dude!
All that he can think about is fortune and fame. There ain't nothing I can do to turn his head and excite him. Sometimes I swear I just want to bite him.
Notice you never hear any of the songs from these direct-to-video sequels ever sung by kids today? That's because they ain't no Let It Go. But all this love from the band makes Todd a little needy, so he throws a fit about Copper seeing the fireworks with someone else.
Nice in the cheese shop.
Too busy for your best friend?
It's not like that, Todd. Cash said I had to let everyone see me. Cash said it's good for the band. Cash said.
Who cares about Cash?
The creators of this fucking movie, that's who! Back at home, Todd and Copper's owners are worried about their pets.
If I see a sign of your puppy, I'll give you a holler.
If I see hide a hair of that fox of yours, well...
Thank you, Amos.
Forget about this.
If I ever catch that fox on my property again, I'll blast him. And next time, I won't miss.
Did these people even watch the first movie?
He wouldn't even be in that dumb old band if I hadn't lied for him.
After Todd confesses to Dixie about the lie he told for Copper, Dixie tricks Todd into having Chief chase him to the fair, which leads to yet more lazy, unfunny, boring cartoon slapstick that doesn't add up to anything at all.
That's my dog!
You ain't a stray?
And Copper is exposed that he lied about being a stray.
You're gonna go home.
But the band...
Don't you get it? You're fired.
Because this movie has to follow the whole liar revealed cliche as close as possible. Get this. No joke, when everyone starts to mope, it actually starts to rain.
Why
Oh, come on, you know what's coming.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away.
I just want to ruin everything.
Copper! Attaboy.
Dixie visits Copper to apologize for being a bitch. Get it? Okay, that's the last time I'll use that dumb joke.
I guess I just lost sight of what's really important. He never wanted to hurt you. He just wanted you to be his friend again.
So, as anyone above the age of 3 could have predicted, Todd and Copper completely make up in the next scene, making all that moping completely pointless.
Well, I've been thinking. I've been kind of a cabbage head. That ain't right, then grits ain't groceries.
What?
That ain't right, then grits ain't groceries.
There are no words to describe how badly written that line was. So to really emphasize just how stupid and terrible that line is, I'm going to replay that scene but with a red satanic filter and some scary music.
That ain't right, then grits ain't groceries. Ash! Dixie's in trouble!
Also, as you probably could have easily predicted, in the next scene, they decide to bring the band back together by telling another lie to Cash and Dixie about the other being in danger.
Are you all right? I'm fine.
Real nice message there, movie. Kids, remember, if you lie, you get caught in a lie, and people are angry at you, the solution is to lie even more.
Just exactly why did you get us all together?
'Cause this movie needed a happy ending.
Cause that's how it ought to be.
So, of course, everyone makes up, the band gets back together, they impress the talent scout, and everyone is happy until the original movie where all this bullshit is forgotten.
Copper? But the band, aren't you going with them? Can't. You and me, we got crickets to chase. And if I ever forget that again, you just kick me on my walking away end.
Yep, Todd and Copper's friendship is unshakable. They totally learned to stay together, and they don't fight anymore. Be honest, is anyone surprised that this movie sucks? Even ignoring how vastly superior the original movie was to this crap in every conceivable way, and believe me, I don't, it's still a horrendous children's movie. Its slapstick is lazy and unfunny. Its story is cliched as can be and so predictable you can just assume the rest halfway through. Its music is bad, its subplots go nowhere, it's just crap. A movie that was thrown together by adults who think children will watch anything. Or possibly made to milk the childhood nostalgia of parents, but it clearly was not made because anyone thought they had a good story to tell. Your kids deserve better. Disney's stampede of direct-to-video sequels may have ended, but rest assured, crappy filmmakers trying to hide their lack of talent as children's entertainment has not gone away, and likely never will. So my advice, parents, is to really watch movies with your kids and expose them to movies that will teach them something and enrich their lives so they'll be able to look back at their childhood fondly, not be embarrassed that they were entertained by electronic babysitters like this movie. I'm some loudmouth on the internet. You just heard my opinion.